In the dark, damp den beneath the forest floor, you begin to stir. The world around you is a constant symphony of sounds. Rustling leaves, the soft crackling of branches, and distant animal calls. But you're not yet aware of these sounds. You are just a tiny creature, barely able to see or hear, yet your senses are slowly awakening as you leave your mother's warmth for the first time. You, a baby opossum, are born into a world where survival is a constant battle. You cannot yet see the light of day, but the instinct to survive already begins to pulse within you. Your body is soft, underdeveloped, and you are still learning the basic motions that will keep you alive. The moment you leave the warmth of your mother's pouch, the reality of the world around you becomes clear. It is cold, it is damp, and it is dangerous. The first few weeks are a blur of survival. You rely on your mother's warmth and the small amount of milk she provides to sustain you. Her fur, soft and comforting, is your only shelter from the harsh, unpredictable world outside. Your mother's constant vigilance, as she monitors your every move, is your safety net. Her large, strong tail flicks as a warning whenever a predator is nearby, and you instinctively freeze, your tiny body trembling in fear. Despite the protection your mother offers, the dangers of the world never stop. There are creatures out there that would love to make a meal of you. From owls and foxes to snakes and hawks, predators lurk in every shadow, waiting for the right moment to strike. At this stage, you are too small, too weak, and too inexperienced to fight back. Your only hope for survival lies in the protection your mother offers, and the instincts that are slowly developing inside you. In the first few weeks of life, your growth is slow. Your tiny legs are still weak, and you cannot move far from your mother's pouch. However, your senses are growing sharper every day. You begin to recognize the sounds of your siblings, their small bodies moving beside you as they learn to crawl. You are starting to notice the smells that surround you, the comforting scent of your mother's fur, the musky aroma of the earth, and the faint, sweet smell of the food she occasionally brings you. As you grow, your mother begins to leave you and your siblings for longer periods. You are no longer so dependent on her milk, but still, your survival is tied to her presence. The days are filled with moments of exploration as you begin to crawl further and further from your mother's warmth. The outside world is full of mystery and danger. You feel the pull of curiosity, the need to discover more. But it is also a world full of unknown threats. Your first attempts to explore are clumsy. You move with uncertain steps, still learning how to control your tiny limbs. The outside world seems enormous compared to the cramped pouch you've spent your early days in. The grass, the leaves, and the trees loom tall, casting strange shadows across your path. You stumble over twigs and rocks, your limbs not yet strong enough to navigate the uneven ground. One day, after days of cautious exploration, you take your first real step away from your mother. You can feel the warmth of her presence, but you are curious, eager to see what lies beyond. You crawl through the grass, your small paws pushing against the ground, your body trembling as you move. The world around you feels so large, and the sense of vulnerability is overwhelming. You instinctively pause every few moments to listen, to check for any signs of danger. You are alone now, and the feeling of being exposed is something new, something unsettling. But your mother is always there, watching from a distance, ready to offer protection if needed. She knows that it's time for you to grow, to learn to fend for yourself. And so, the next few weeks are a delicate balance between exploration and safety. As you continue to grow, your body becomes stronger, and you begin to navigate the world with more confidence. You learn to climb over rocks, squeeze between tree roots, and crawl under bushes. Every day is a small victory. Your tiny body is growing, and so is your confidence. The bond between you and your mother remains strong, but slowly, you begin to develop the skills needed for survival. The outside world is still dangerous, but now you are starting to understand its rhythm. You know when to freeze, when to run, and when to hide. Each day brings new challenges, new creatures to avoid, new obstacles to navigate, and new lessons to learn. You are no longer just a helpless infant reliant on your mother's care. You are growing into the opossum you were meant to be. Your mother's watchful eyes, always scanning for predators, teach you the importance of caution and awareness. As you learn to move through the forest, you begin to understand the importance of survival, of being vigilant, of being fast, and of being smart. But even as you grow stronger, you are still very much a young opossum, vulnerable to the dangers of the world around you. Every day is a test of your survival skills, a challenge to see if you are ready for the life that awaits you. The world is vast, and the path ahead is filled with both peril and opportunity. The lessons of the first weeks of life are behind you, but the journey is far from over. With each passing day, you move closer to independence. The comfort of your mother's pouch is now a distant memory, and the world you now face is one of endless challenges and ever-present threats. Yet, with every new step, you grow more and more capable of facing what lies ahead. Your journey has only just begun. The days grow longer as you continue to grow and develop, your senses sharpening with each passing day. Now, at around 2 months old, you are beginning to explore the world outside your mother's protective gaze more frequently. The small den where you once found safety is no longer enough. You feel the need to step out into the wild, to experience the forest on your own terms. But nothing prepares you for the vastness of the world that lies beyond. The towering trees, the shifting leaves, and the unpredictable sounds all seem so much larger now that you are out in the open. You are small, barely the size of a human hand, and every corner of this new world feels overwhelming. As you venture farther away from the den, you quickly realize how much you still depend on your mother. Her presence is the anchor in your otherwise chaotic existence. Her instincts have kept you safe so far, but she is no longer with you all the time. She has started to leave you alone for longer periods, trusting that you will be able to fend for yourself. This is a milestone, one that brings both pride and fear. The world, after all, is a dangerous place, and it is filled with creatures much larger than you. Every rustle in the leaves sends your heart racing. You freeze, your fur prickling as you wait for the sound to pass. The distant howl of a coyote echoes through the trees, and you feel the hair on the back of your neck stand on end. It is a reminder of how vulnerable you are. You are still too young, too inexperienced to face these threats head on. You must rely on your instinct to hide, and your mother's teachings to keep you safe. You've learned that the world is a place where survival is not guaranteed. Predators lurk in every shadow, and the forest itself can be a perilous place. The memories of your early days, the safety of your mother's pouch are fading, and the reality of life outside has begun to sink in. You are no longer the helpless newborn, but you are still far from being a fully independent adult. For now, your days are spent in a constant state of alertness. You venture out to search for food, berries, insects, anything that will fill the gnawing hunger in your belly. You've gotten better at scurrying along the ground, your small paws finding purchase on the rough forest floor. The food is scarce, and you often find yourself scrounging for scraps. Sometimes you're lucky, and the earth offers up something edible. But most of the time, it's a struggle to find enough to keep you going. Your mother's teachings on the importance of stealth are beginning to take root. You are learning to move quietly, your body low to the ground, eyes scanning for any sign of danger. You've seen her do this countless times, how she can move with such grace and quiet determination. She seems to always know when to hide, when to freeze, and when to bolt for cover. You've started to imitate her movements, trying to mimic her skills, but you know you're not quite there yet. The instincts of survival are not fully yours, and it will take time before you can match your mother's expertise. The forest, for all its beauty, is also a place of danger. Every so often, you hear the flutter of wings overhead, a warning that a hawk is nearby. You have learned to freeze at the slightest sound of a predator, your heart racing as you hold still, hoping you aren't noticed. At other times, you see the shadows of larger animals like foxes moving stealthily through the underbrush. You hold your breath and stay as still as possible, hoping they don't notice you. You are learning that the best defense is often to remain unnoticed, to blend in with the environment and wait until the danger passes.
The nights are the hardest. Darkness falls swiftly in the forest, and with it comes a whole new set of challenges. You are still learning to navigate in the dark, your eyes struggling to make sense of the world around you. The shadows seem to stretch on forever, and every rustling leaf feels like a threat. Your mother's teachings about staying hidden are crucial now, and you find a safe nook under a fallen log to sleep in. But even as you lie there, you can't shake the feeling of vulnerability. The darkness is filled with unknowns, and you are acutely aware of just how small you are in the grand scheme of things. Over time, you become more adept at surviving in the forest. You learn to trust your instincts more, and you begin to make your own decisions. You know when it's time to seek shelter, when it's time to hunt, and when it's time to rest. But there are still so many dangers, so many unknowns. The world outside the safety of your mother's presence is filled with threats, dangers that you can't yet face on your own. Yet each day you grow stronger. You feel your body becoming more capable, your legs growing longer and more powerful. You're able to leap higher, run faster, and climb with greater ease. You still depend on your mother's wisdom, but you're starting to find your own rhythm, to carve out your own place in the world. The world outside your mother's care is still full of uncertainty, but you're starting to learn how to navigate it.
It's a world where survival is earned, not given. And although you are far from being fully independent, you know that every step you take brings you closer to the day when you'll be able to stand on your own 2 feet. The lessons of the forest continue to shape you. Every encounter with danger teaches you something new. Every close call strengthens your resolve. And though you are small and young, you are beginning to understand that survival is not just about strength. It's about wit, awareness, and adaptability. The forest is a place of constant change, and you are learning to adapt to it, step by step. As the seasons change and the world around you evolves, you continue to grow, becoming stronger and more capable with each passing day. At around 1 year old, you've reached a critical point in your journey, a time when the world that once seemed so vast and intimidating is starting to feel more familiar. You've survived countless dangers, from predators to hunger, but now you're entering a new stage of life, maturity. The first thing you realize is that survival isn't just about avoiding death anymore. It's about finding your place in the ecosystem, carving out your territory, and establishing your own identity in the wilderness. The forest, while full of danger, is also full of opportunity. And you're beginning to understand that opportunity isn't handed to you. It has to be fought for, earned. You've mastered the art of survival, but now it's time to start thinking about reproduction. The instincts are stronger now, and the desire to mate begins to grow within you. You've been watching the older, more mature opossums, and you've noticed something important. To truly thrive in this world, you'll need to find a mate and create the next generation. You've seen the way they interact, the way they communicate and form bonds, and you begin to feel a longing to experience that same connection. But the path to reproduction is not as easy as it seems. You've learned that the forest can be as harsh to the young and untested as it is to the old. It's a competitive world, and other males are equally determined to find a mate. To stand out, you'll need to prove yourself. That means fighting for the attention of the females, establishing dominance, and showing that you are strong enough to protect your future offspring. You begin to engage in small territorial battles with other males, testing your strength and honing your instincts. Each encounter is a challenge, but it's also a lesson. You're learning how to use your size, your agility, and your cunning to outmaneuver your opponents. There are no guarantees in these fights, but each skirmish strengthens your resolve. With each victory, you earn more respect from the other creatures of the forest, and you start to gain the confidence you need to find a mate. Your first true test comes one crisp autumn evening. You've spotted a female opossum from a distance, and she's everything you've been waiting for. Her sleek fur glistens in the moonlight, and her movements are graceful and purposeful. She's feeding on a small patch of berries near the base of a tree, completely unaware of your presence. Your heart races, and your instincts tell you that this is your chance. But before you can make your move, another male approaches. He's larger, more experienced, and certainly more aggressive. You can see the challenge in his eyes as he sizes you up. There's no mistaking his intentions. He's after the same female, and he's not going to back down easily. The forest suddenly seems quieter as the two of you lock eyes, each understanding the challenge at hand. It's a battle of strength, speed, and determination. You square off, and the contest begins. The two of you circle each other, sizing one another up. He lunges first, but you dodge just in time, using your smaller size to your advantage. You retaliate with a swipe, and for a moment, it seems like he might back down. But then, he charges again, stronger and faster this time. You feel the tension building, every muscle in your body primed for the fight. You know this is your moment and you can't afford to lose. The battle rages on, but with every move, you can feel yourself getting more confident. The longer the fight goes, the more you realize that you're not just fighting for dominance, but for your future. You're fighting for your chance to mate, for your place in the forest, and for the legacy you want to leave behind. In the end, it's your agility that wins the day. You manage to outmaneuver the larger male, driving him back and asserting your dominance. With a final push, he retreats, and you've claimed victory. You turn back to the female, your prize, and you feel a sense of pride swelling within you. But there's no time for celebration. The task isn't finished yet. You approach her cautiously, allowing her to take in your presence. She watches you for a moment. Then, to your relief, she accepts your approach. The two of you share a quiet moment, and then, as nature dictates, your mating begins. The cycle continues, and you realize that this is the way of the forest. Every creature, every species must fight for its place in the world. The challenges never truly end, but with each victory, each lesson learned, you get closer to securing your future. You know that there will always be more battles to fight, more challenges to overcome, but for now, you've earned your place. You've proven that you are strong, that you can survive, and that you can thrive in this wild and unpredictable world. The months pass and the forest changes again. Your offspring are born and you watch them grow, learning the same lessons you did. They too will face the challenges of the world, but now they have you to guide them, just as your mother guided you. The circle of life continues. And as you stand tall in the forest, you realize that despite the hardships, you found your place. You are no longer just surviving. You are living and thriving.